The tales speak of many legendary weapons in Skyrim, the land of the Nords. The lethal Blade of Woe, Ysgramor's mighty axe Wuuthrad, the unstoppable dwarven great hammer Volendrung. But nary a tale is to be found about Skyrim's greatest weapon. The broom? No, that can't be right. That's right, ladies and gents of the internettainementsphere. I'm JudgeOFudgeO, and I'm here to bring you a pretty weird Skyrim challenge run. Many have asked the question, who will clean up Skyrim? Well, today, we get the answer. The rules of this challenge run are as follows. I will only be using the broom that has been transformed into a really pathetic weapon by the Handyman mod, link in the description. I will record all my audio from a gas station bathroom using a mic I bought at the very same gas station for less than $5. I can only use the broom as a means of damage in combat or otherwise. I can level up other skills, but skills like destruction, archery, and one-handed are useless to me as I won't be using any of them in combat. So, restoration, smithing, enchanting, two-handed, because the broom is a two-handed weapon, heavy armor, all of these are green light. You'll see why I chose to include this pretty quickly. The damage output of the broom is less than ideal. No mana, health, or stamina potions in combat or otherwise. My ultimate goal is to beat the main quest, so once Alduin is defeated in Sovngarde, that's it. Run over. On to the character creation screen. So who in mythology uses a broom as a weapon? Why, Cinderella, of course. We all remember the classic Disney flick where an abused girl has enough and murders her stepsisters with her trusty broom. Which race is most consistent with Cinderella? Why, a male orc, with a full beard and a shaved head ponytail thing. Now to give my character a fitting name. Let's see. Yeah. Here's the scene where we are getting murdered by General Nipplewings. Seriously, his armor has wings and circles highlighting his nipples? He's clearly a very kinky boy. I'll be playing on added difficulty, by the way, as it's hard enough to pose some challenge. I may not have mentioned this, but I am a licensed dragon dentist. Open up, Aldi Waldi. In Helgen Keep is where we find our baby. Like it or not, we wedded to this baby for the whole run. No divorce allowed. I asked the Pope. Have a look at that damage. It's magnificent. Oh god, what have I done? What is this, like a 20-hit KO on one of the first enemies in the game? Well, at least we have Radolf to do some work. This is the first time I think the frostbite spiders may actually pose some sort of challenge. We'll see here in a second just why restoration was absolutely needed in this run. Yeah, we would be pretty much dead without it. Once we have escaped Helgen, it's time to exploit a helpless wood elf. Yes, you can endlessly have Faendal train you in archery and then just take the money you paid from his inventory. Very generous of you, Todd. This might seem unnecessary, but trust me, we're going to need all the levels that we can get. We do this just to get a little boost so we can get through Bleak Falls. After meandering around a while, I realized, hey, I should probably get the Dragonstone before going to Whiterun, so off to Bleak Falls Barrow. The bandits in the beginning aren't that big of a deal, but trust me, it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Next we have a slap fight with the wounded frostbite spider, which usually isn't much of a problem. In fact, you probably forget that he exists at all, but here he is quite the challenge, and thankfully restoration comes in clutch, but wow, look at that health. It drops barely at all. After the spider's down, I quickly slap Avril Lavigne to death, who actually manages to almost get away due to the broom's pathetic damage. Then we grab the golden claw, and it's off to fight some Draugr. Considering how little damage I'm doing with my broom to these guys, I opt for the big brain strategy and use the trap to my advantage. And this is fair because it's going to hurt me just as much as it's going to hurt them. You'll see. Man, oh man, this undead wizard boy is real tough. I just barely managed to hang on, and here comes the big brain, galaxy brain strategy. No. In round 2, I actually remember how stamina works in this game and managed to pull off some nice staggers, and I actually kill a very low-level enemy in this game. Yay! And with these Draugr, I completely and fully redeem myself with this awesome play, boom, boom, and kaboom! Totally redeemed, 100% redeemed. Final boss time. Like a true RPG player, I run straight for the loot and ignore everything else, and let the slap fighting begin. And boy, was this a long one. At one point I completely lose track of where he is, even. But don't worry guys, I'm a professional. I find him eventually, and quest complete. Like a hero, I return to Jarl Scruffyballs McFragile Eagle and tell him that the lizards are coming back to life like in Jurassic Park, but they also fly like in the new movies that suck and Jeff Goldblum isn't even there. Then he tells me the town is under attack and like, please help, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go join the companion so I can exploit an old man for his blacksmithing talents. Not to undermine my process here at all, guys, but I'm actually going to show you a pretty cool trick that's been around since Oblivion times, and, well, hold on to your butts. We're off to the swamps of Mortal for 2 key alchemy ingredients, swamp fungus and canis root. The fungus is real easy to find, but the canis root just looks like any damn root among a million roots, so it takes forever to find. I mean, look at this. Why'd they make it so damn hard to find? I'm just meandering around like a headless chicken in these freaking swamps, man. Jeez. Once we've gathered some ingredients, we return to the shop of an old lady we robbed, and awkward! Don't you just hate it when you walk in on someone who's hiring some hitmen to kill you? Hashtag just Skyrim things. Oh, don't mind me, you psychotic old bag. Just gonna teach these goons you hired the true meaning of cleanliness. Ruh-roh, this isn't going very well. Time to break out my secret weapon, the soup my mommy made me for snack time. This OP nectar of the gods lets you constantly regain stamina, and its power attacks only take 1 stamina to be usable. Unlimited smackdown, baby. This fight still isn't going my way. Flee to the streets! Maybe the guards will help. Oh wait, I forgot that hiring professional murderers is legal in Skyrim by decree of Todd Howard. Ree! Now I can finally show you what I was doing with gathering those ingredients in the swamp for so long. We're going to make some potions of paralysis. Here's where the magic happens. Have the old man train you in smithing, apply some poison to your broom, turn him into a petrified shirtless pooping guy, and pickpocket your money back. It's that easy, folks. You can only do this 5 times per level, but the convenient thing is that this old dude will let you beat the crap out of him if you remember the companions and not even call the guards. Nice and easy way to level up. And we're friends again. Hey, you okay there, buddy? Ah, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I may have neglected to mention that this tampon of the gods is upgraded with firewood. Now that we've tricked an old guy into training us in smithing for free, we can increase the damage of our trusty broom from 5 to 10. Not gonna lie, smithing might be a waste of time. Smithing be damned, it's dragon time. I'm thinking we can mostly rely on the buff elf and burly guards to do most of the work in this fight. We also have our trusty Veggie Delight. All in all, this fight wasn't too bad, since I spent most of it running away and healing. We're really going to need enchanting to make this run doable, I think. We're going to need something like Drain Health if we're going to spend a lot of time bravely running away. Before braving the 1,000 poorly built steps of High Hrothgar, I cooked a soup, cooked a vegetable soup. I'll agree that accent is racist if you can all agree on what accent it's supposed to be. Before I even get there, I get bamboozled by some old dude, and it turns out he wasn't even my real dad the whole time, and his friends beat me to a meaty pulp for stupidity. As in all family-friendly reunion movies, I travel back in time like an angry god, track down my fake dad, and beat him to death before he can lead me to his friends. As I lost all the footage of me bravely running up a mountain, fleeing a frost hole, and my pants were wet because it was snowing, not because of bladder control, I end up in a screaming match with a cult of beardos. The old dudes teach me to yell better or whatever, and I stop by the local pencil sharpening station for a truly pathetic upgrade. Then I get sidetracked by arguably the funniest joke in this game. Get it? It's blank, because he's blind. Yeah, even I know this joke is borderline, Todd. It's called Braille! In order to make myself some more money to fund my various scams, I tricked this poor woman into being captured by this Mohawk guy, but at the last second I triple-cross him, kill him, and take all his money. This is what happens when you don't have a morality system in the game, Todd. Then I head back to trick the old guy to get me to 90 smithing, and I pick up Daedric smithing finally. I'm off to my local Walmart for some ebony. It's cheaper because you have to do all the back-breaking labor yourself. I hammer away until I have enough for about 20 ingots. That's definitely enough for a full set of Daedric armor. Anyway, off to find some Daedra hearts. Before I can get to the guy who reliably sells them, I have to prove to this house elf that I'm really Harry Potter by making my hands all twinkly. Then I can finally buy trafficked demon organs from this meth head with a dead slug on his head. Before I can go and finish my armor, though, I'm forced to watch impotently as characters with ranged abilities do what I know I never can. Cindy sad. Finally, I get to craft myself a set of big boy armor and hope to Jeebus that this will actually make a difference. Sadly, I realize that the broom is characterized among unique weapons, like the Daedric arsenal, and doesn't benefit from any smithing perks, and can't be upgraded past exquisite. Yup, definitely gonna need enchanting here. I'm hoping my armor will at least carry me through Ysgramor, so I head over there, and I actually don't have that big of a problem with the necromancers and most of the draugrs. I'm pleasantly surprised by that. These damn spiders are ever my nemesis, though, and I really have to squeeze my butt cheeks together hard to squish these guys. Let this be a lesson. If you need to kill a spider, don't grab a broom, go get yourself a real weapon like a flip-flop. When the spiders finally join their friends in bug hell, Cinderella is thoroughly emasculated by the fact that a frail innkeeper has managed to get the old guy's hearing aid or whatever before he could, without opening a single door either. After letting Cranky Pants lead us down to a murder basement, she makes us go slap a big old lizard to death. This is the damage we do with a fully upgraded broom, guys. But man, oh man, seeing that kill scene with someone in full Daedric armor somehow killing a dragon with a broom almost makes this whole thing worth it. Who didn't clean his room properly now, Mom? Instead of opting for meandering around in the swamp again for paralysis poison ingredients, I choose the cheesy way instead. Buy what you need, and once they're out of it, quick save, give them a quick love tap in the face, reload, and voila, restocked and ready to trade. This is the part where my boy Sergio Tyrannosaurus gets the shine. Like the shirtless old guy in Whiterun, Fabio here is an enchanting teacher. You know what that means. That's right, we get to paralyze him and rob his petrified body. After we've leveled up our enchanting enough to the point where Tyrannosaurus Rex can't help us anymore, we return the old guy's hearing aid, then return the yell until our eardrums shatter. So that's why we need to go get the hearing aid. Finally figured it out. Now that my ears have stopped bleeding, I can show you a fun little way of increasing your sneak skill real fast. Once you've given the old guys their hearing aid, as long as you remain hidden, you can sneak attack these guys over and over again for lots of sneaking experience. It works way better with the dagger since it's a sneakier weapon. With a broom, they instantly detect you and you have to wait until you're hidden again. You can piss them off, and if you do, they'll turn you into a popsicle and send you flying off the tallest mountain in Skyrim, so make sure to stay hidden. As skill trainers can only teach you 5 levels of a skill per level up, I really need a fast way to level up. The best way to do this, since I'm only allowed a broom in this challenge and can't use a dagger to stab the old guys, is the old muffle and wait trick. This is a really common trick where you can cast muffle over and over and wait for an hour when your mana runs dry. You gotta love Bethesda's realistic take on how to level up your character. Just stand literally for hours on end casting the same spell over and over again. Won't make you seem like a demented Harry Potter at all. This way I can keep paralyzing an old man to level up my enchanting skill. Since Sergio Tyrannosaurus can only train us to level 75 enchanting, and I need at least 80 to get all the enchanter perks, I need to go to some sex-crazed monks that wear exclusively mustard-colored bathrobes and find their missing Jesus or whatever. Apparently they sent her to her summer camp in a bloody torture dungeon somewhere in the mountains. After Mustard Jesus Ubers home, I settle for 80 enchanting, as it should be enough to get us through the rest of the game. So there are 2 enchantments that I figure will get this freaking challenge done already. The first we pick up by quick save bashing Ace Ventura here until she decides to sell us a weapon with the Drain Health enchantment. The last enchantment we need is Fortify Destruction, which we pick up from the store that features Skyrim's worst customer service. We slap this mouthy elf until she sees reason. With 100% reduced cost of destruction spells on our armor and health drain on our weapon, we won't ever run out of charge on our broom's enchantment. We pay Arcadia one last visit and pick up an enchanting potion for good measure. Then we chuck that bad boy and get to work. First, we enchant our armor with Fortified Destruction to get at least 100% cost reduction for our destruction spells. Then we stick a Drain Health enchantment on our trusty broom and give it the most fitting name I could think of. Now here's a weapon worthy of the great orc warrior Cinderella. They will sing our name through the ages, and our bloodlust will be legendary. Once we're fully geared up, befitting the buffest of Disney princesses, we crash the world's most boring party and liven it up by giving an alcoholic too much to drink. The drunk then proceeds to presumably ruin his life. We go beat up some elf supremacist jerks in flowery armor. None can stand before our sweeping prowess. We raid their underwear drawers until we find a napkin that proves that these elves are even more clueless than we are about herpetology. What they do know is that there's some crazy old guy hiding in Skyrim's dankest and dirtiest butthole, Riften. After a quick chat with the handsomest hobo, we're off to find something actually useful, the Atronach Stone. On our way to the Atronach Stone, we test our new gear on one of those pesky flying lizards. We tear it to shreds with our bristles of doom and arrive at our prize. With this stone's blessing, we get 50% extra spell absorption, which will make us way more resistant to spells. The wiki page on spell absorption is complicated, but I find that I die less to spells with it, so I'm confident it's good, probably. Then we return to Riften to do the handsome hobo a favor, so he'll help us find the crazy old guy who knows why Jurassic Park is being remade into an Elder Scrolls game. But before he'll help, we have to make it through a gauntlet of surprisingly well-armed homeless people. Luckily, these mole people are allergic to cleaning supplies, so we cut through them like stanky street butter. Finally, we arrive in an establishment that took the term dive bar a little too literally and set up in an actual sewer. It turns out that the persnickety elves were already living in these sewers, but we make it to the crazy old guy. He tells us that the reason Skyrim is Jurassic Parking is that Netflix is finally running out of show ideas, and hired Steven Spielberg to remake all his crappy films into TV shows, but then realized that Bethesda games are way longer than any TV series. We finally convince the old guy that he needs to go live with the cranky innkeeper instead of in a hoarder's nest in the middle of a sewer. Cranky Pants then tells us that she wants to set up an Airbnb in a dusty old lizard murderer's temple because it's so in right now. First, we have to displace the indigenous population already living in the moldy old caves by genociding them. Unfortunately, it turns out that the native cave dwellers have a pet lizard that shoots purple Gatorade, so it's high time I get the fudge out of there. After what can only be described as a very harrowing escape that made me need to change my pants, the old guy says that I have to cut off my arm so the lizard murderers know I won't steal their delicious lizard scales. The old guy deciphers a deeply traumatizing child's drawing on a cave wall, and I'm off to the cult of Beardos. The Beardos teach me every grumpy old man's dream, how to literally yell bad weather away. Then I meet up with the Beardo's pet lizard in the sky, and he directs me to my long-lost deadbeat father, who's a public librarian now. According to the guy I'll never call Dad, the titular character of this game is an old moldy scroll that only the clinically insane know how to find. Fruit Loop's McTurd-stained bathrobe here tells me that, surprise, surprise, I have to go to another dungeon to find Mr. Elder Scroll. We begin our slog through a frozen cave filled with discount Transformer toy knockoffs and Gollum's biological grandmothers, only to end up in what can only be described as an acid trip through a life-sized ant farm. We make it to Elder Scroll's house and complete the dumbest puzzle in video game history. I mean, what am I even doing here? Even the wiki for this game just says press buttons until something happens. I figured Bethesda employees were bad at puzzles, but dear God. Elder Scrolls' mom says the sleepover's done, and Alduin the Frame Eater eats all my frames. Don't know what I expected he'd do. Then we go back in time and learn how to use the blue Gatorade yell and fight the big bad lizard boy. This fight was thoroughly underwhelming. I feel way over-prepared for this one. Alduin just sort of gives up halfway through. I mean, just look at this. He just stops trying. What the fudge, Todd? When Alduin inevitably loses our staring contest since I have a broom, we have to convince Jarl Scruffy Balls to let us use his lizard bondage machine. Kinky. He'll only let us play with his toys if we convince the two most whiny dudes in all of Skyrim to trade Pokemon cards or whatever. The Beardos turn up the heat too far on their stone fire table and melt everyone's cups, so green Gatorade spills all over Ulfric's pants. Ulfric then runs away crying about that he doesn't wet his bed and we're done. We lure Alduin's bestie to Scruffyball's sex dungeon by telling him we're having a purple Gatorade party, but psych, it's blue, dummy. Lizards hate blue Gatorade. We catch a ride with the now traumatized lizard. After a flight that can only have felt like riding a mechanical bull with a saddle made out of cheese graters, we arrive at Alduin's treehouse. We chug some veggie smoothie and beat the crap out of some zombies. Once we've done some truly duh-level puzzles, we race a guy with no skin or muscles into what looks like the sunbeam weapon from Gears of War 2. Surprise, surprise, the giant sun laser straight up kills us, and we end up in the afterlife where God is a macho man with really majestic furry nipples. Finally, Cinderella arrives at the ball. Except, whoops, the ball is actually a drunken beer fest populated by dead alcoholics. A drunken chick dares me to get turned and run over a bridge of skeletons and beat up Alduin. Bound by the drunken idiot's code, we shout at the sky until Alduin wakes up. I decide to chug Veggie Delight until I throw up. This gives me super strength, apparently. Damn, look at that stamina regen. I mean, that's sped up, but still. Alduin gets completely demolished by our mighty broom. He then eats too many frames and explodes. And there we have it, ladies and gents. I've beaten Skyrim with mostly only a broom, kinda. Hey, my dudes. This is the part where I, Judge Fudge, would put links to my other videos. They'll be coming sometime in the near future, since I had a blast making this video. Just want to thank those of you that made it all the way through to the end, and let you know that if you enjoyed this video, I'll be doing other challenges in other Bethesda titles, as well as maybe some old-school Pokemon. Subscribe to see what the future has in store. Bye!